Hey peeps, welcome back to my channel. My name is Drusilla Shay. If you don't know already, we are going to be talking about stretching natural hair today. I did post a video recently on how I get my curls to pop, and a lot of you found it helpful. And I also asked if you all would be interested in me making a video on how I stretch my hair, and a few of you came back and said you would like a video on that. So this video is for anybody who is interested in stretching their natural hair, because if you know, you know, the shrinkage game is wild. I would like a little bit more body, a little bit more fullness, a little bit more length with my hairstyles, and so I stretch out my hair. There are 3 different ways that I do this. Y'all are probably familiar with at least one of these methods. Regardless, I hope that you find this informative and helpful. So without further ado, let's get to stretching. Okay, so the first method that I'm going to be showing you all is featuring the one, the only, pick. Picking your hair is the easiest way to stretch out your hair, but wait, you can easily jack up your curls if you're not doing it in a particular way. I would know. I've done it quite a few times. I learned from experience, but you don't have to. You can just learn from me. When it comes to stretching your hair in general, the focus is at the roots, okay? Because if you have nice defined curls, you don't want those curls to go away. You still want those curls to be very visible. And so where are you gonna be able to stretch your hair? It's the roots, where people don't really get to see. Also, when it comes to stretching your hair, I always say this, I'm gonna say it again for the people in the back. You want to make sure that you are not manipulating your hair until your hair is fully dry. If not, you're just going to be setting yourself up for nothing successful. Okay, now that we're up close and personal, I'm going to pick this side out and I'm not going to pick this side out, and I'm going to allow you to see the difference between the two. So what you want to do is, there's no specific order that you have to go in, but you really want to pick your hair up gently and not pull your curls apart. You don't want to do that. But wherever they kind of just like naturally fall, just work with it, right? And then you want to go in at the root and you want to pick. You want to tease the root, okay? So what you're doing is you're combing the root, but you're not combing it to get all the way through your curls. We're not trying to comb out the curls. We're just picking it like this, just to elongate those roots. We're just taking out the curls at the roots so that we can have more volume and more length. It's really important to consider what kind of shape that you want to achieve. I do like my hair a little bit more stretched out in the front. Just make sure that wherever you want to stretch, that's the place that you're picking at the roots. Okay, but if you don't want to stretch a particular part of your hair, you probably don't want to touch it too much, all right? So I'm just going in very lightly, picking on my hair, going in the root, stretching very gently, not doing the most, not being aggressive. Hopefully y'all can already see the difference. You know, you're starting to see more of that volume, you're starting to see a little bit more of that length. And essentially I just keep doing this until I achieve as much length as I possibly can. Something else to consider, as y'all can see, I do have some little stragglies here, okay, that don't really look too kosher. They're really like uneven with the rest of my hair, just like really random. So what I do is I don't touch the top of my hair, the ends of my hair with a comb at all when I have my curls in. What I do is I just gently use my fingers and I just pull at the ends of some of my curls just so I can get them even. And then if you're like me, who has very uneven hair and needs to go to the salon for a professional cut, you might still have some really, really long outliers. What I have to do is I just need to take a pin and I pin it up at the root to make it a little bit shorter and, you know, make it a little bit more even with the rest of my hair. Going back to picking the roots out, you are not trying to eliminate your curls, but all the action is happening in the roots. So here we have the results of what it looks like for me to stretch out my hair with a pick. Now, like I said, I did not do this side. That's on purpose because I want to show you another technique on this side. Okay, so this next method of stretching my hair requires some heat, but this is not direct heat. The same thing that I did with the pick, essentially I'll be doing with the blow dryer. I'll be going in gently, right? Separating my hair, not pulling my curls apart, but separating it where, you know, it happens naturally. And I'm gonna be blow drying my roots, just like this. If you have a hairstyle like mine, where, you know, you have a side part, your curls are kind of like hanging on your face, and it's important to have those curls nice and defined. You want to make sure that you are not touching the top of your curls, okay? Especially in the front, because obviously the front curls are going to be the most noticeable. So you just want to make sure that when it comes to the front, you're being very careful. And what I would recommend is blow drying underneath, okay? Blow drying underneath so that when the hair falls, you're not seeing, you know, how this part has been stretched and that there's no more definition there. You're not seeing that. It's a little secret. All right, y'all, I barely did that much blow drying. Hopefully you can already see a difference. Like, my hair is already stretched out. This part is so long. Blow drying at the roots, super effective. Okay, so I'm gonna pause right here. This is a very big difference from when I first got on camera. What I like also about the blow dryer method is because it straightens out the roots, it just makes it so much easier for me to like be able to put my hands through my hair, you know, kind of just fluff it up, because again, my roots are straighter. So these little stragglies here, I'm probably just gonna tuck behind my ear. This next method I would say is just as effective as the blow dry method, but it definitely will take more time, but there's no heat involved. So I'll go ahead and show you that as well. Alrighty, y'all, so for this last method, you will need some hair scrunchies. I do recommend these kinds of scrunchies, which I can link for you down below. The reason why I like these kinds of scrunchies is because unlike typical scrunchies, they are made to like not pull on your hair, which is really important, especially if you're going to be using hair ties to stretch your hair. I'm going to show you two ways how I stretch my hair with hair bands. I just take my hair, again, gently. Because my hair is shorter in the front, I do have to gently grab it and pull it, but I am not being rough with my hair. Being very gentle, grabbing it, okay? And I'm gonna take this side of my hair as well. And then all I'm gonna do is take this hairband. I'm gonna just loosely apply it to my hair. My curls are being stretched in order to reach the ponytail. The thing with hair is that obviously if you have it in a particular style for a certain time, it's going to start to mold to that style. So because I have it like this, my hair is going to start naturally stretching, and it's gonna stay stretched unless I put water back in it. By the time I take it out, which I'll give it almost an hour, it's going to, you know, stretch out just as much as the blow dryer will stretch out your hair. Something, again, that I had to emphasize, shape. It's really important to consider because it will determine where you need to put your ponytail. The reason why my ponytail is further down at the back is because I want the front of my hair to be stretched more than the back of my hair. I don't really like the mullet look where it looks like the back is so long and the front is so short. And so that's why I have to put this ponytail back. The hairs at the front are going to stretch way more to reach the ponytail than the hairs at the back, which means I'm going to get way more stretch at the front than at the back with this method or with this position. If I were to put my ponytail upward, the back would stretch as equally probably as the front would. That's essentially why it matters what kind of shape that you're trying to achieve. I have stretched it where, you know, I put it up into a ponytail or a pineapple before, but then I realized that the front of my hair was short and then the back of my hair was long, and I really didn't like that look. And so I realized that I had to go the opposite direction and put it downward. I would normally do something like this at nighttime, put my hair like that, put my bonnet on, go to sleep. Next morning, we Gucci. So this is just one method, but what you can do is you can also isolate different parts of your hair that you want stretched. If I don't want the back stretched, what I can do is, again, gently separate my hair, okay? Not trying to pull my curls apart. So if it's a struggle, don't do it in that section. Take a band, put it at my roots very gently. And again, this is why I recommend these kinds of scrunchies, because they don't pull on the hair like a normal scrunchie would. So as you can see, I'm not tying it all in one place. I am forcing my hair to stretch, right, by separating how I tie this. I'm going to use a hair tie here. Sometimes when I do this and I take my hair out, it could be looking a little crazy because, I mean, it look crazy now. Sometimes when you take it out, you will see a little bit of an indentation where the tie was, but don't fret. Just let your hair sit for a little while and then it should just like bounce back by itself. I am going to allow my hair to stretch out naturally, and then I'm gonna come back and let you see the final results. All right, y'all, so it has been an hour. Remember that you wanna be very gentle when you're taking the scrunchies out. You don't want problems, especially if you're not using these kinds of scrunchies. This has stretched a lot. You just gently fluff it out. I'm sure if I had this in overnight like I normally do, it would have stretched out even more. There has been lots of stretch. As you can see, my hair is now coming down further down in my glasses. This part has stretched so much. I have a lot of renegade hairs, y'all. I think I'll go back and stretch this side a little bit more because I do want it to be a little bit longer. It's not really equal. But for the purposes of this video, I just really wanted you to see my process. And as you can see, the stretching with scrunchies is really, really effective. Now, I don't have any, you know, markings or indentations from the scrunchies, but I also think that's because of the kind of scrunchies I use and the fact that I did not stretch my hair overnight. So this is the final result. So y'all, that is it for this video. I hope that you found it super helpful. If you did, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up so that I know that you enjoyed it. Hit me up in the comments. Do you use any of these stretching methods or do you have different methods of your own? Let's go ahead and make this a conversation. And while you're there, if there's a red subscribe button on your page, it means you need to press it, please, pretty please. And go ahead and turn on your bell notification button so that anytime I post, you're not gonna miss out. God bless you, and I will catch y'all in my next video next week. Deuces.